I will just horticulturist. Horticulturist. Okay, horticulturist.
Yeah.
Did I say that
yes,
right?
You got it.
All right. Hello everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome to Cactus Caffeine. Today will be a very special video because I am in the garden of one of the renowned horticulturists here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and his name is Mr. Norm Schilling. Good morning, Mr. Schilling.
Hi, Anna. Hi, welcome to my garden. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me to come over and see your yard, and I'm looking at it now and I'm so amazed, and I can't wait to see them all up close.
Okay, well we'll do a little tour, and there's I think there's about 400 species here. You know, quite a few cactus and succulents, mostly desert plants, but some non-desert.
Wow.
And it's been my home for 32 years. It's changed a lot. So yeah.
All right, why don't we start?
Well, this is a good place to start because this from the railroad ties going out that way is very, very low water. There's no water in the cactus garden here. These are screwbean mesquites. These are a native species, right? And they get their name because of the really interesting, cool seed pods that are actually edible, right?
Oh.
Check that out. They taste kind of like peanut butter.
I can just bite it like now?
Yeah. And the Native Americans would use mesquite seeds as like a flour, right?
That is yummy.
So, and there's a lot to eat in the garden. Now, we're just a little bit early for all the opuntias to come into bloom. This one has and candidly, the opuntias, there's so many of them. I get the species names mixed up sometimes. But this one has super red flowers. There's a cholla down there with red and yellow. The micro daisies, of course. There's quite a few of those, and a pencil cholla back there.
Wow! Look at that opuntia pads packed with flowers.
Oh yeah. And I like how the sun kind of just captures and those young pads. It just kind of it's translucent, travels through. That
would be a show when they all bloom, when they all open.
And then the wildflowers, the penstemons I planted many years ago, like 100 feet away, and they've moved over here, and they've moved into the main area by the front of the house. They
just see themselves?
Yep. I threw a little seed down of some wildflowers as well. And then, they just come and make their homes here. And then out front, let's go out. Let's take a quick walk out front.
Just a quick one.
Sure.
What is this tall one here?
Oh, that's ocotillo.
This is ocotillo. Okay.
Yeah. So when I planted, so that one.
Oh,
and that one down there.
It's really tall. I didn't realize it's that tall.
Yeah, and the cool thing is I found it years ago growing at a reservoir, and it was about an inch tall. It was a little baby, and I just brought it home and I put it in my cactus garden, and that was even before I planted the screwbean mesquite. So now the screwbean mesquite has grown up, and they're kind of buddies, I guess,
Yes.
So, yeah. And then you can see all the yellow flowers from the brittle bush and Celia farinosa, which is one of our native species. Those, I never planted one. They came from the lot across the street back before it was developed, and they've just blown in. I love this guy. So this is, I don't know which cholla this is, but it has nice big yellow-red flowers. And like all opuntias, the flowers are thigmotropic. They move with when you touch the stamens, and some of them are more mobile than others. And this one, when you touch the stamens, they just
yes, right like when the bees land on it and they close.
So this one, every time I come out here and the flowers are open, I just give them a quick little whirl,
Oh, that's
but the flowers are gorgeous. All of this is, some of it I planted, most of it I didn't. Right, so I did plant the screwbean mesquite and the desert spoons, which are succulents, nice big, really tough succulents, but the creosote came in here by itself. Here's our native globe mallow, which popped up, decided to grow right next to this beautiful Perry's agave behind it, right?
Which agave is this? Oh,
so this is
Perry.
agave. Yeah, this is agave Perryi truncata or wachikensis. So it's a fatter leaf than the regular Perryi. So this is our native creosote, Laria tridentata. And again, this is not a plant I planted here. She just volunteered. She moved across the street before it was developed there. But this is the plant that's responsible for the wonderful smell in our valley when it rains, right? And if you want to capture that, if you just bruise the tissue a little bit, but if you really want to bring that fragrance out, you just cup some leaves in your hand, breathe on it, and smell it, and it's the smell of rain. It releases those aromatic oils.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow! When I miss rain, I'll just smell that,
Yeah.
and it does smell like it's raining. Like,
yeah, and they're very long. So, this is just the glory of the happy desert and spring. There's some of the brittle bush with the silvery foliage and the yellow daisy-like flowers that have, all of them just volunteered in here. We've got some globe mallows that moved in, right? And so they've just grown together. And then this cactus back here, it actually came from a pad that fell off, and I set it on top of the wall and just let it callus over. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then one day the wind came, knocked it over, and I said, okay, I'll just grow here, which is just so fun the way.
Its own thing.
Yeah.
And look at it now.
Yeah, they're so tough. They're so resilient, you know.
I like this one because it doesn't have too many spines on it.
Yeah.
Like the spines are very sparse.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. I do now have this on an irrigation system, but I water it about once a month for from May till September, and so it gets about 5 waterings a year.
Okay.
If it rains one month, I just turn it off. Right?
Do they like die back during the winter?
Yeah, they get a little bit rough looking, and you just cut them back, but they naturalize. And the orange one is our native species, but they're really easy to start from seed as well. This is Yucca rigida, a blue yucca, and it has silver margins on the edge of the leaf. It eventually develops a trunk and gets multiple trunks, get really slow growing, but someday she'll have a trunk up here. I like to keep their skirts on them, and they're just really super beautiful plants. That blue is stunning, and that gold margin, when the light hits it just right, it radiates like neon. And then they get the big white flower spikes filled with those creamy white flowers, and they're just gorgeous. And all of this at most gets once a month water.
Just once a month?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can have a really beautiful garden with very, very low water.
Okay, so right here, these are
Euphorbia rigida. They're finished with their bloom. You can see all these little pods on top, and then the pods, when they open, they throw the seeds, and so they're really quite prolific. There's a good chance I didn't plant this one. I don't remember if I did or not.
It's a volunteer.
It's a volunteer. And just to the left over here, there's another one that volunteered, right?
What is this big agave right here?
So this is Weber's agave. And
Weber's.
It's the variegated variety, which is, I believe,
It is beautiful, yes.
Arizona Star. And like with many agaves, they produce pups as well. So you can see the vegetative offsets, the pups, all the way over by the wall there, all around her. So there's probably another 10 or 15 to harvest and get them new homes as well. But they're so structural and bold in their form. And then even the regular Weber's, which is just it's a really nice blue, But then you put on the variegated variety that you get that added splash of yellow, that two-tone coloring. That's just really pretty amazing.
This is a big one.
Yeah.
Huge. Oh, I almost stepped on your cactus right here.
Yeah, so here
I gotta be careful.
I think this
They're
is
blending with the ground.
right. So here we have, I think, claret cup hedgehog rather than the strawberry hedgehog.
Oh, this is the claret cup one.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's actually a claret cup over on the other side that's put out her first flower, so we can run over there and take a look in a minute.
Okay.
This one I noticed earlier.
Oh, we see another pop of color in here.
Yeah. So there's the claret cup.
Claret cup.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see lots and lots of buds still coming on, and just that when it the way cactus, the way their blooms capture the light and radiate, and then the structure with that green stigma surrounded by those red stamens inside that orange cup that transforms into that pale yellow green. It's just, they're works of art.
This is also one of the natives.
Yeah.
In Nevada, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So she bloomed in honor of you. That's her first flowers.
Oh, look at that.
And they're just stunning, and you can see they bloom heavily. Right? Now this conglomeration of vertical cacti, you can see they fall over, they break, they just move around. So now they've migrated into the garden, right? They started in the pot.
They migrate. Oh, yeah. They started in this pot.
Yeah, this pot and this pot, I believe. But one fell over there and said, "Hey, I like it here." Another one went over there, and here's the other thing. So there's two different varieties, and I don't know what the varieties are. This one, the spines are longer and they point down. This one, the spines are shorter. But if you can come in here, now, if you want, you can do this at home, but you might not want to. This is actually a musical cactus. So we're going to play the cactus, right? And so I just put my fingers here. Now, so the thing is, if you touch it like this, it's going to poke you, right? But if you move perpendicular to the spines, every once in a while, one pokes me a little bit, and then you get these absolutely gorgeous flowers. And there's days where there will be 50 of them open all together. And like so many cactus blossoms, they're short-lived. They last a day or two.
This is beautiful. The color is so iridescent.
Yeah, it has that violet tinge to it with the red. And I've always loved the trichoceros or tricolobivia or whatever they decided to call them now, where you have that carpet of stamens and then that big bold stigma in the middle. Then you come out and you are also pollinated, And aloes is another group of plants. There's so many different varieties. I forget the name of that one, but she's been there for many years. And the beautiful branched inflorescence or flower up at the top. And here's another one. She blooms really early in the year, so you can see the last little flowers have just recently been spent. And beautiful red spines, including some that run down the center of the leaf. And they look vicious, but they're pretty flexible, at least until they get older and dry out.
Something smells good here in your yard, Norm. I don't know what it is, but I'm smelling something very fragrant.
Well, I think I know what it is. It's this yellow flower right here.
Oh, this?
Yeah, and this is chocolate flower, right?
Chocolate flower. Why do they call it?
Because it smells like chocolate.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, take one and just smell her up close. You can pull it off. She's got a lot more.
Oh, wow. Yes,
Yeah.
this is what I am smelling. It does smell like a chocolate.
Yeah, and the evolution
Can
of
you eat this?
you know, actually, I don't know.
It
I don't
smells
know.
too good that I
We
want
should
to
look it up.
eat it.
Right. Well, I love her as ornamental. So here's the cool thing. They start out like this. You can see those little petals just starting to emerge, and then they open up, right? And the florets start out at the edge. The ones at the edge open first. So you can see the outer ring here. Here's the inner ring now coming out, and you see those yellow stamens sticking out there. I think I can probably get a little pollen on me. And then the petals drop off, and they're left with these really cool little floral cups, right, that are really ornamental in and of themselves. And I think these are actually used in floral arrangements after they're spent, right, just because as a structural or architectural element. And I got to give a shout out to one of my favorite flowers of all. There's a lot of different types, and that's the gazanias. These are just absolutely stunning in their color and the arrangement. And I particularly like how in some of them, especially the reddish ones, they have this really interesting black center. Sometimes there's a little white eye in the base of each, and there's this kind of this brown or even green tone in there. And then the striations in the petal, they're just, to me, just so breathtaking. And with luck, they reseed themselves. So you get little babies.
What do you call this again?
So this is gazania.
Gazania.
Yeah, and so there's two different types. There's a ground cover gazania. They typically have smaller flowers, not as showy. This is the clumping gazania. And over here, we have one with really striking yellow flowers as well. And there's lots of different varieties. Look at that bad girl.
Are these perennials?
Yeah. So these, I don't know if they're really long-lived perennials, but you know, if you, they last a while. And you can see right in here, there's quite a few, some of which I planted and some of which I did not. One of the things I like to teach is that you can look at this and you can say, look at all the leaf litter, right? Or you can look at this and you can say, oh, look at all that mulch. It's nature's mulch. That's how nature does her thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't see, you know, I'm a really hard-working guy, but in my heart of hearts, I'm very lazy. And I don't see any reason to take this out. This is actually very beneficial in holding the moisture in. And if it gets bad enough, you know, I'll clean it up or I'll come through and, you know, I think it's an old tumbleweed, right? So I'll get rid of stuff like that, pick it up a little bit here and there. But they just want to grow through. So there we have a beaver tail pad that we recently planted. Another Perry's agave. I think it's Perry's. I'm not sure which one this is. And that is King Ferdinand.
Yes, Ferdinand agave.
Yep. And there's a Queen Victoria elsewhere. You know, and so I just pop little things in here and there, and some of them make it and some of them don't, and you know, they have their lifespan, and sometimes they pass away. I had a cholla back there that didn't, you know, after a few years didn't make it, and that's okay. That's just part of the cycle of gardening. And I don't get as uptight about this stuff as I used to. And then over here, I went to a customer's house, and he said, Norm, should I keep this? And I said, dude, that is so cool. Yes, absolutely you should. But if you want to get rid of it, let me know, right? And he decided he didn't want it anymore. He took it out. It's we call it El Dragon. El Dragon. It's the
El Dragon.
yeah. It's so you can see the big head of the dragon. And then what I did is here I planted pink oxalis rubra, and I thought it might look like, you know, the sea is bubbling and dragons coming out of it. So maybe not, but it still looks cool.
Oh, now I see the dragon in it.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I see the dragon structure. Yes.
Right, yeah.
When I was
And-
on the other side, I didn't quite see the dragon, but
Oh,
on this angle right here,
Yeah, there's her eye,
yes.
her big snout, right? And she's rearing up. Here we have, oh, what?
What is that? I see something.
Oh, I didn't
What
see.
is
Oh,
that?
that's perfect. Oh, she was open yesterday. Oh, this is flying saucer.
Oh, so this is the second day?
Yeah, so she came out yesterday. Oh, honey, you were too early. Right? Oh, I love that. I love that carpet, right? And there's that beautiful stigma, right? And if you look in here, so here's the thing. This one, not so much anymore, but when it's fresh, the flower is this big, right? Mm-hmm. And cacti have translucent petals, which means the sun will travel through them, right? So you take this flower when it's full open and the sun's on it, and you put your eyes in there, you're in this lit up world being a bee. It's one of the coolest things ever. But if you put your face in there, it's, you know, check for a bee first, but it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And
I have not tried that with my flowers.
No, most people haven't.
I know. Now you gave me an idea. Well, your flying saucer is early. Mine is still in bud, like
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
stage.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I wish I would have noticed her yesterday. And in years past, over the years growing this, more and more I started getting these I think they're potato beetles, little yellow striped guys, and they nasty little caterpillars. They're kind of slimy, but this year I went on a mission to get rid of them, and so I come out here almost every day, check for them. I find the beetles, I throw them down, I step on them real quick before they fly off, and I pull the larva off as well and set them out here on the driveway and introduce them to the end. So there's a lot less damage this year, and so that means next year, by keeping the population down, I'll have less damage. Here's the thing, Anna, this whole property was literally, I think, about 400 species. I have pests, but I don't have pest problems. I have a few holes in these leaves. The plant is still healthy, right? It got kind of beat up last year, so I'm going to do something about it. I don't want any pesticides. The less I use pesticides, the fewer pest problems I have. And that's because, so this is like, if I'm a pollinator or a predator and I come here, this is like me going to a really nice buffet, right? And it's all organic, healthy food. And so they're like, yeah, I'm gonna lay my eggs here, right? This is where I want my family to grow up. I guess I'm kind of anthropomorphizing that, but they want to live here and they'll lay their eggs. And so like lacewing larvae, which will walk a mile and eat 100 times its body weight, will they're all over this place, and they're little alligators, and they'll eat everything, anything. They eat each other, right? But they walk around. And so my roses, I never see aphids. Never.
Oh,
I'm sure there are some occasionally, but boom,
they don't
somebody
take
gets
over
them.
the
Right.
they don't take over
Right.
the plant.
So I have a few weed challenges, and then for whatever reason, nobody seems to want to eat these guys. So okay, I'll step in. But I haven't used any pesticides here in at least 5 to 10 years. And in the whole history I've been here, very few instances, only when something was really threatening a plant. And then I try and use the least toxic approach, the most natural approach. So in this case, it's, I spend a few minutes a day and I come looking for the little beetles. They're usually paired up already and trying to get their whole reproduction thing going. And then I get all these flowers and I don't have to live with the pesticides and I have less pest problems. It just makes sense.
And I noticed too that here in Vegas, in the desert, we get less pest and disease problems like in other climates, like in more humid climates.
Yeah, we have a lot fewer problems with especially with fungal diseases, because we don't have that environment that nurtures them, which is typically something really humid, really wet. So like roses, in some ways, they shut down when it's 110, right? But they don't have the fungal diseases. We don't have to deal with that like you do back east. So they, you know, give them some water and an organic mulch, wood chip mulch. You improve the soils. You grow beautiful roses. They like being here, right? So we got a few more cactus out front, and then we'll go in the back. So here's an Opuntia, a cholla, another Opuntia that has a nice purple color, and in the middle of it we have this agave whose name I don't know. It might be agave zebra, I think. It kind of has these horizontal stripes. There's one in back that's bigger. It has really cool twisty. See those kind of brown thorns in there, and they're all twisted in different directions. They're kind of wicked looking, right? And the other thing, if you look right up here, that is a Verdon's nest.
Oh.
Right? And you see,
it is a bird's nest.
Yeah, and the entrance is right here.
Is there something in it now?
Yeah, I don't know if there's eggs or babies, but yeah, I watched them building it about 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And, you know, so that is a pretty cool place to have a bird's nest because it is very, very protected. So, yeah.
Yeah, but this nest here is so cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something in there.
Yeah, they you know, it's so cool that they build it in there because, man, you want a place where nobody's going to mess with you. There you go.
Very smart bird.
Yeah. And then here again we have the King Ferdinand, and then one of my favorites. What
is this one?
So this is Opuntia sulphurea, and the regular Opuntia sulphurea doesn't do this. But this is a pad, a clone, a genetic variation, and these spines get longer as the pad gets older.
And they're curly spines.
Right. They're all twisted and you know, it's just wild looking.
Yeah. I like that.
So the story behind this is, I think,
are they soft or
no? They're kind of stiff,
hard.
Right?
They're stiff, yeah. Except they're twisty.
Yep.
That's so cool.
So the original pad, a pad of this was sold at a cactus and succulent show, I think in the 80s, and the guy propagated it for many years and then started selling it, and I think he paid like $200 for the original pad.
Ooh.
Right? But he made his money back many times over. Here we have Euphorbia antisyphilitica. You can see it starting to spread. It's going to fill this whole pot. Here we have a true saguaro that I got, you know, as a little tiny guy.
How many years till it got to this size?
20 maybe. 20
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not fast at all.
Yes, my saguaro is about 6 inches tall now in a small pot.
Yeah. Here we have a succulent Calabanus hookeri. I think it's considered a succulent. It's a caduciform, right? So you can see that big bulbous base, and my understanding is those bulbs can get as big as like a small car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh, nice fat one right there.
Yep.
So Norm, I really enjoyed your tour of your little garden here in Las Vegas. This inspires me a lot to do more in my garden, to improve my garden. I've seen a lot of plants here that I did not know about until now that you showed them to me. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And again, Norm, where can they find information about your company? Like how can they get in touch with you?
So my landscape company is Schilling Horticulture, SCHILLING. You can go to schillinghorticulture.com, or you can call our main number, which is 702-452-5272. And Mojave Bloom, we're a startup. We've been in business I think a little over 3 weeks now, and so we don't have a good website set up. We're still working on the website. Probably the best way to find us is to look on Facebook. Just search Mojave Bloom Nursery. And if you're not on Facebook, you can go to mojavebloom.com.
And I believe you also have an Instagram handle.
Yeah, we do have an Instagram. So I think, I'm not sure what the what
Okay,
that is.
so you
Mauve
have the
bloom and
website, you have the Facebook, and you
Instagram.
have Instagram
Yeah.
and an Etsy store as well.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
we do
okay.
some mail order stuff, and kind of supplements the income getting started. And we're located at 1401 Searles. So it's like Sears, but with an LE at the end, or near the end. It's Searles. So just north of, or just east of North Las Vegas Boulevard. It's down the road from the Neon Museum.
All right.
So-
Well, thank you so much, Norm.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for coming. I really enjoyed
Oh.
sharing the garden with you. And hopefully you can come back maybe when some of the opuntias or the flying saucers in bloom. So yeah. But thank you.
All right. Thank you.